What's up, YouTube? Smells like Vin here, and I'm gonna do another review for you guys. And today, I'd like to talk about a stoner metal album or a doom metal album, because I love metal that's slowed down, has a bit of a psychedelic edge to it, kind of trippy and heady. I love that stuff, and an album that fits that description almost to a T is Holy Mountain by Sleep. Now, Sleep were a stoner doom metal band that were active during the 90s, and just a little while ago, well, maybe not a little while ago, a couple years back, they did a reunion kind of show and played this whole album, and it was really cool. So the funny thing about this record is it's a demo, kind of. It was a demo that they sent to Earache Records, and for a demo it sounded pretty good, and Earache just decided to release it as is. They didn't ask them to come in and re-record it. They didn't ask them to maybe clean it up a bit. They just said, it's fine the way it is, we'll take it. And so they did. And it's a good thing too, because this is a fantastic release. So, the sound of the album is, I hate whenever there's a stoner metal band or a doom metal band, people automatically connect it to early Black Sabbath. That always pissed me off, because it's like, just because it's slowed down and shugging and heavy doesn't mean it's Sabbath. They're fans of Sabbath. They probably are. But I always hated when bands were compared to Black Sabbath. But I gotta agree this time. Yeah, Sleep does sound a lot like Black Sabbath. More on the first half of this album rather than the second half. But I can see where the comparisons can be made. I'm sorry, my hair is like annoying me today. I am a fan of early Sabbath. I really enjoy the Ozzy era. And so, yeah, I could see where those comparisons are being made. But, Sleep really do have their own sound, and the more you listen to it, the more you'll see that, or hear that. So the sound in this album, okay, the guitars are fuzzed. They are just thick and kind of full with distortion, and they have a real emphasis on the fuzz tone, which gives it a pre-psychedelic, spacey feel. And that is another thing I really like. I'll touch upon that later. Another thing I like is the bass. The bass is always audible in this album. You get a really fuzzy, I don't know what the effect is called, but it's basically, think wah-wah for bass, basically. The bass has a really almost flanger kind of effect that I think that's one of the defining characteristics. I always have trouble pronouncing that word. One of the best characteristics of this album is that really, really kind of psychedelic, spacey bass sound, and you always hear it. It's always in the forefront, and I really like that. The vocals are pretty. I like them personally. I think they're another thing, that kind of helps the album kind of become what it is. I've heard complaints about them. I don't mind them. I think they sound really cool. They're kind of this, like, stoned kind of talking, like he's not using that much melody. He's just kind of going like da 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 da, like he's just kind of like tripping over his own vocal melodies. But again, that adds to the really spacey feel of the music, and that's what I was gonna get to. This album has a really psychedelic sound to it, from the cover art to just the music. It has a real spacey, kind of just get lost in the music feel. In fact, the first time I listened to this album all the way through, it put me in a real somber kind of state of mind, despite the fact that the album thrives on having these really monster riffs and really monster grooves. The lyrics are awesome. They're stupid, but they're awesome. They're pretty fantasy, like basically they're pretty pot based, which you don't have to be a stoner to enjoy this type of music, but I guess when hired, they talk about going to planets on dragons and being trapped under the ocean and all these really weird kind of taboo things, but it sets up an atmosphere. And that's what I think people miss. People say the lyrics are stupid, but it sets up that really psychedelic atmosphere that I enjoy very much to this release. Like I said earlier, the first half of the album is pretty mid-paced to slow grooves, very Sabbath-esque grooves. But the second half, songs like From Beyond and Holy Mountains, the title track, are slow, long, expansive doom metal. They're really slow, really dirty, really sludgy, almost kind of, they sort of remind me, maybe if Sabbath was slowed down to like 10. Again, I hate to make that comparison, but it's pretty easy to. Another thing I like about this album is the drumming. The drumming is nothing too amazing, but it always fits the tempo of what the rest of the band is doing, which is obviously very important. It's the drummer's supposed to do. It helps kind of punctuate the grooves and make them sound even slower and even more crushing. This is just it's a consistent record too. The only songs that I don't like, and I think that they shouldn't be here, are the song Some Grass. It is sort of like a bluegrass kind of southern style guitar ditty. It's only like 45 minutes. 45 minutes takes up the whole album. It's only 45 seconds under, a minute, so it's not the biggest deal. And the last song, which is like, I forget if it's either Neon's Baptism or Nathan's Baptism, something like that. It's just kind of a low guitar feedback with this kind of ride cymbal just going again and again and again. Nothing too interesting, but it's not like it ruins the album or anything. I actually do find that it helps the flow a little bit, although I think they could have ended on the 8th track, From Beyond, but that's just me. The flow is good. I kind of already just talked about that, but the flow is good. Every song is similar enough to keep a consistent feel, but they're not too similar where they just kind of merge into each other and you're not getting anything new. There's kind of like centerpieces of the album, which is another thing I like. The production is good for a demo, because you gotta remember, it is a demo. But I would say my only complaint is sometimes if the band gets really loud, sometimes the sound gets muffled and it gets a little too muddy for its own good. But again, it's a demo, so it's really hard to kind of pick at it and bitch about it, because like I said a million times, it's a demo. But yeah, this album kicks ass. I really, really am enjoying it recently. Funny thing is, it took me a while to get into it. I was just kind of bored with it the first time I heard it, and I had to listen to it a few times to really get it. But about like third time in, I was like, this is awesome. It just kept getting better and better, and I love it now. So, I'm 9 minutes in. It's probably a good place to stop. Thank you to all who have subscribed. I'm almost at 70 subs. That's really cool. I appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have anything you'd like me to review, tell me. Let me know. I'll be happy to get to it. And if you want to hear me talk about a track, not a full album, but just a song, I'll do that too. In fact, that'll make it even easier for me. If maybe there's an album that you just want to hear one song off of, my review of, I'll be happy to do a quick review of that. A lot of other YouTubers on here talk about tracks, rather than full albums, as well as full albums. It's all about music, not anymore, but Cover Killer Nation, Needle Drop. So I'd love to do that. And 10 minutes. I should shut up now. See you guys later.